The early 20th century was a time of remarkable change. New inventions were appearing almost every day. One of the most captivating dreams was the dream of flight. For centuries, humans had gazed at the birds. They longed to soar through the air just like them. Inventors and engineers worked tirelessly. They experimented with balloons and gliders. They were determined to conquer the skies above. The idea of the airship captured many imaginations. Airships were giant, majestic vessels. They were filled with lighter-than-air gas like hydrogen or helium. This gas allowed them to lift heavy loads. People envisioned them as luxurious flying hotels. Passengers could travel across continents and oceans in comfort. It was a romantic vision of travel. It promised adventure and a new perspective on the world below. Count Ferdinand von Zeppelin was a key figure in this era. He was a German general who became fascinated by balloons. He believed strongly in the potential of rigid airships. Count Zeppelin dedicated his life and fortune to this vision. The name Zeppelin became synonymous with these giants of the sky. Among all the airships, one name stands out: the Graf Zeppelin. This remarkable machine, also known as LZ-127, was a masterpiece of German engineering. Construction began in 1926 and was completed in 1928 in Friedrichshafen, Germany. Named after Count Ferdinand von Zeppelin, it was a symbol of German pride. Measuring over 776 feet, it moved with gentle grace. Powered by 5 Maybach engines, it cruised at 70 miles per hour. Passengers enjoyed stunning views and luxurious interiors. The Graf Zeppelin achieved many feats, including transatlantic flights and a round-the-world journey in 1929. These giant airships, like the Graf Zeppelin, were wonders of the sky. However, they could not stay airborne forever. They needed places to land safely. They required facilities for maintenance and refueling. This meant creating new infrastructure. Operating an airship involved complex ground operations. These operations were essential for success. The most visible pieces were the mooring masts. An airship would approach a tall mast. The nose would be attached to the mast. This allowed it to swing with the wind. Passengers could embark or disembark using a gangway. Besides masts, airships needed huge hangars. These hangars protected airships from the weather. They also provided space for repairs. Building these hangars was a major engineering feat. They had to be incredibly large to accommodate the airships. The planning and construction of these facilities required great foresight. Engineers had to consider many factors. Friedrichshafen, a town on the shores of Lake Constance in Germany, holds a special place. It is widely regarded as the cradle of Zeppelin airships. This is where Count Ferdinand von Zeppelin established his factory. The Zeppelin company, Luftschiffbau Zeppelin GmbH, was based here. The town became a center for airship design and construction. The first Zeppelin airship, the LZ-1, made its maiden flight from a floating hangar on Lake Constance in 1900. This event marked the beginning of a new chapter in aviation history. Friedrichshafen was at the heart of it all. The facilities at Friedrichshafen were extensive and advanced for their time. The company built several large hangars there. These hangars were needed to assemble the massive rigid airships. The Graf Zeppelin LZ-127 was built in one of these Friedrichshafen hangars. Its construction was a source of national pride. Friedrichshafen served as the primary home base for the Graf Zeppelin. Many of its famous voyages started or ended here. The town became a destination for aviation enthusiasts. Section 5, Lakehurst Naval Air Station, America's welcoming arm. Across the Atlantic Ocean, another key port emerged. This was the Lakehurst Naval Air Station in New Jersey, USA. Lakehurst became the primary American terminal for transatlantic airship travel. It played a crucial role in connecting Europe and North America by air. The US Navy had recognized the potential of airships. They invested in developing facilities at Lakehurst. This base was strategically located, not far from New York City. This made it a convenient arrival point for passengers traveling to the United States. Lakehurst was equipped with impressive infrastructure. The most notable structure was Hangar Number 1. This enormous hangar was completed in 1921. It was one of the largest structures of its kind in the world at that time. The base also had a tall mooring mast. This mast was used for securing airships like the Graf Zeppelin upon arrival. The operations at Lakehurst were complex. They required a large team of skilled naval personnel and civilian workers. The Graf Zeppelin made many successful flights to Lakehurst. Its arrivals were always major events. Crowds would gather to witness the spectacle. Section 6. Rio de Janeiro's hangar, a South American embrace. The Graf Zeppelin's voyages were not limited to North America and Europe. It also established regular routes to South America. Brazil became an important destination. To support these flights, a dedicated airship port was needed. The most impressive of these South American facilities was built in Rio de Janeiro. Specifically, it was located at Santa Cruz Airfield. The Brazilian government recognized the benefits of airship travel. They collaborated with the Zeppelin company to create this port. A massive hangar known as the Hangar do Zeppelin was constructed at Santa Cruz. This hangar was specially designed and built to accommodate the Graf Zeppelin. Its construction began in the early 1930s. It was completed in 1936. The hangar protected the Graf Zeppelin from the tropical weather. It also allowed for maintenance work to be carried out. The Graf Zeppelin made numerous flights to Rio de Janeiro. These flights were very popular. They provided a fast and comfortable way to travel between Europe and South America. The journey took only a few days. The arrival of the Graf Zeppelin in Rio was always a celebrated event. It brought news, mail and passengers. Section 7. A global network, other key ports of call. Beyond Friedrichshafen, Lakehurst and Rio de Janeiro, the Graf Zeppelin visited many other locations. These visits helped to create a truly global network for airship travel. Each stop, whether a major terminal or a temporary mooring site, played a part. In Great Britain, the Royal Airship Works at Cardington was a significant site. Cardington had 2 enormous airship sheds. The Graf Zeppelin visited Cardington on several occasions. Spain also played a role in the Graf Zeppelin's routes. Seville became a regular stopping point on flights between Germany and South America. A mooring mast was erected there. This allowed the airship to refuel and take on passengers and mail. The climate in southern Spain was generally favorable for airship operations. The Graf Zeppelin's famous round-the-world flight in 1929 showcased its incredible range. During this journey, it made a stop in Tokyo, Japan. A temporary mooring mast was set up at Kasumigura Naval Air Station. The arrival of the Graf Zeppelin in Japan was a historic moment. Section 8. Engineering marvels, the architecture of airship ports. The structures built to serve the Graf Zeppelin and other airships were true engineering marvels. They were not just simple buildings, they were highly specialized facilities. Their design was dictated by the unique needs of these colossal flying machines. The sheer size of the airships presented the biggest challenge. Hangars had to be incredibly long, wide and high. Hangar number 1 at Lakehurst, for example, was over 800 feet long. The doors for these hangars were also gigantic. They often required complex mechanisms to open and close them efficiently and safely. The materials used in construction had to be strong and durable. Steel was a common choice for the framework of hangars. Concrete was used for foundations and floors. Engineers had to consider factors like wind loads. A large hangar presented a huge surface area to the wind. The structures had to be able to withstand strong gales. The roofs also had to support their own weight, plus any snow load in colder climates. The design of these hangars pushed the boundaries of architectural engineering at the time. Section 9. Whispers of the Past, Legacy in a Modern World. The era of the great passenger airships was relatively short. It lasted mainly from the 1920s to the late 1930s. The Hindenburg disaster in 1937 dealt a severe blow to public confidence. The rise of faster, more efficient airplanes also contributed to their decline. Yet the legacy of the Graf Zeppelin and its dedicated ports endures. These structures were monuments to a bold vision of flight. They represented a unique chapter in the history of transportation and architecture. Their influence can still be felt in subtle ways, even in our modern world of jet travel. Some of the massive hangars built for airships still exist today. The Hangar do Zeppelin in Rio de Janeiro is a prime example. Hangar number 1 at Lakehurst also still stands. These surviving structures are powerful reminders of the past. They are often protected as historical landmarks. Some have been repurposed for new uses. Their immense scale continues to inspire awe.